Hi, I'm Mrs. Prang, post-secondary counselor at Parkway Central High School. For this presentation, I'm going to be demonstrating a website that we use in the Parkway School District called Naviance. Naviance is a college and career planning tool, and we introduce that to students in freshman year and utilize it each semester during college counseling presentations. The freshman and sophomore year presentations are really more focused around career assessment and starting to keep track of honors and activities through a resume builder. And then in 11th grade, we transition into that college research piece, which I will focus on today. As I mentioned in previous presentations, this is also the site that college admission representatives use to schedule visits with our high school, and I will let you know where to go to sign up for those visits to meet with them. And then in 12th grade, you will actually use Naviance to request transcripts for colleges and invite teachers to write letters of recommendation. So it's very important that you become familiar and comfortable using this tool. This is also the site where we post all scholarship information that we've been asked to advertise, and we keep a list of helpful college planning websites for students to easily access. So students, we encourage you now to use the login feature called Clever. Allows you to simply use your Parkway Google login to access the site without having to remember a separate password. And for parents, if you do not yet have an activated Naviance account, simply email me and I will activate that account. Or if you've had it in the past and need a password reset, I am happy to do that as well. So to log into Naviance, you would first navigate to the Parkway Central website and then click on Counseling. Under Counseling, that's going to take you to our page where you can then access the link for Naviance. Once you click Naviance, it will take you to this feature. And students, you will click on the little backpack, and then this is the tool where I'm asking you to continue with Clever. Step 2 is to start typing your high school. So as you can see, I started typing Parkway Central High, and then Central High School showed up. And then lastly, the last step is to use your Parkway School District Google login. This is the home screen whenever you get into Naviance. So for the rest of the presentation, I'm going to switch to a live version of Naviance and then demonstrate all of the tools that we use. So let me switch to a different screen. So the Naviance website, again, in 9th and 10th grade, we really focused on career exploration and that resume tool. So those are accessed under About Me. So if you haven't used Naviance before, if you're new to the Central High community, if you missed any of those counseling workshops or didn't have time to really dive into those features, this is where you will go. So under About Me, My Stuff, this is where you can get to the resume tool. So it is a wizard type feature where you can click on the plus sign, choose the category that you would like to add to your resume, and then it will walk you through the process. Hopefully you have a few items here from 9th and 10th grade that you can edit or update, or if you're starting from scratch, that's fine too. The goal is by the end of your junior year that you have everything documented, whether that's in Naviance in this resume tool, or if you are using Google Docs or Word for resume templates, anything is fine. But again, as I mentioned in other presentations, that many teachers will ask for a copy of your resume if you've invited them to write a letter for you. And some colleges will ask for you to either upload or input all of that data. So if you've taken time in 11th grade to get everything organized, you will be one step ahead. Under the About Me, there's also a My Assessments. These can also be accessed under the careers section. But these are the tools that we've asked students to complete in 9th and 10th grade to really do some self-reflection and exploration of strengths and interests to determine maybe a potential major or career path. So if you need to update the information that you've put in since it's maybe been a year or two, or if you haven't taken the time to do so, I would encourage you to explore those features as well. But then in 11th grade, a new feature that we would like to introduce is under the post-secondary plans. There is a questionnaire called Game Plan. The Game Plan, I think, is a great resource for that self-reflection piece. What is the best fit college for you? So as you can see, there's a lot of questions about maybe things that you need to think about or what might be important to you as you start to navigate and research schools. I think it's very valuable for students to fill this out and then parents to access their answers or to do this together to see if everyone in the household is on the same page about college and what options might be available. I often find that a student might put in specific distance from home or size of a university that the parents aren't sure necessarily are the best fit for the students. So it's a great way to start those conversations. Aside from these features in the About Me tab, we're going to spend the rest of this presentation in the colleges section. The colleges section has a lot of information and resources for you. Maybe out of the ordinary, I'm going to start at the bottom. And this is where those college admission representative visits are going to post in the college visits section. Again, since we are just starting a new semester, colleges have just begun trying to register for visits for the spring. So right now there's only 3 colleges listed, but this will grow throughout the coming months. So keep an eye on this list. If one of these schools is listed in your Naviance as a school that you are interested in, you will also get an email when that school schedules a visit for PCH. So if you are interested in Texas A&M, for example, they are going to be meeting virtually with students from Parkway Central on Monday, April 12th after school at 2:30. So if you wanted to sign up for that visit, you would click on the register now. As you see here on the site, it says the link for that visit will be available at the visit time. So on the day of that visit, you would come back to this list and the link to the Zoom or whatever virtual option they are hosting on, and that link to access the meeting would be listed right there. So I encourage you to attend those visits. It's a quick 30-minute appointment. The college admissions representative will give an overview. You're able to meet and connect with that admissions representative, and you can get questions answered. Also, just above that is the scholarship and money section. So the scholarship list is where we're going to post everything we've been asked to advertise. When you click on it initially, it defaults to the college-specific scholarships. These are merit scholarships and not posted by me, but by Naviance. And so it's looking at the colleges throughout the country and analyzing your data. So it's getting your GPA, your test score, if you have one, or once you do, it will then update. And it's looking at what is the average cost and what merit scholarships might you automatically qualify for. So this is a way for you to see maybe specific locations where you might get scholarship money. But the next tab, the local and regional scholarships, this is the list of scholarships that we have specifically added to Naviance for students to see. This is where local scholarships will be posted and even school-specific scholarships, which are more competitive and need separate applications. So you can see as I scroll through this list, there's scholarships such as the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce Scholarship, all the way to college-specific ones like the Indiana Jewish Studies Scholarship. So this is a list that is really important. The majority of scholarships are specifically for seniors. So there might not be that many that you are eligible for right now, but you would want to continue looking at this list all throughout senior year. In that scholarships and money section, there's also a link to a national scholarship search. Naviance partners with a company called Sallie Mae, and they have a database of over 3.5 million scholarships. So you simply fill out this profile about yourself, your interests, activities, your academic profile, and it looks in that database and matches you with scholarships you might be eligible for. So if you do this now and mark that you are a junior in high school, the system knows that and will only match you with scholarships that you can currently apply for. The top two sections are Find Your Fit and Research Colleges. And again, as I mentioned in other presentations, junior year is the year for research. So this is a great tool for you to use in that process. I will demonstrate right now the advanced college search. So there's over 14,000 colleges and universities inside Naviance, both in the United States and some abroad. That's a lot to research and navigate. So maybe you know, and you can put some of these filters in. So maybe you know that you want to go to a four-year school. Maybe you've talked as a family and you know that you're okay with certain distance from home, or you can check specific states that you are comfortable attending college in. Maybe the size of the school is something that's going to be important to you. So you can click one or more data points on each screen. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and click on View Matches, and I have 81 schools that have shown up in my list. Still very large, much different than 14,000 though. As you see the filtering requirements, if you know your specific major that you want to pursue, you can add that in. If you know that you want college athletics to either be a spectator event for you in college, or if you would like to participate, you could add those filter requirements and the list will just continue getting smaller and smaller. Once you have that list, then you can scroll through and you can see that they are links to those individual colleges. So you can click on a particular school and see a lot of information. So the landing page for each university is going to have links to their website, maybe if they're offering virtual tours, and then you can find information about the actual school. So anytime there's a counselor comments section, that means I have met with an admission representative or I've attended an information session, and these are my notes from that. So although you can find all of this on the individual college website, my hope is that it's a smaller snapshot of the most important information, and you can scan through that and learn as much in a short amount of time. Some things I do want to point out on the individual college section profile pages is first this net price. The net price can be deceiving. The default is based on a family income of 0 to 30,000. So you have to switch it to what your actual household income looks like. And then the average net price would adjust. Although DePaul is a private school, and so residency within the state of Illinois is not a factor. If you are on an out-of-state public school, this net price is going to default to if you are a resident of that state. So that will only work for schools within Missouri. So if you are in an out-of-state school, that price is definitely going to be inaccurate. So I always like to point that out, that even though it's a good tool, it can be deceiving. Another great option to click on is the acceptance rate. The scattergrams that show for each college is going to be students from Parkway Central who applied to this university, what was their result? Were they accepted? Were they denied? And every green check mark is a student from PCH who was admitted. The student's average for DePaul is a 26, 27 ACT and a 3.57 GPA. So this is where you can look to see, are you a competitive applicant? Obviously, there's a wide range of data points of students being admitted. Sometimes you will see an outlier, and it's possible that someone with that high of an academic profile, maybe did not complete their application and, marked that they were denied, although it was potentially an incomplete application. So you might see some odd things. This is self-reported data, but it should give you a pretty good idea about how competitive you might be. I also love the college overlaps feature. So this is students from Central that applied to that university. Where else did they apply? So if your academic profile for DePaul with the 27 and 3.57 was a little, high for you, then maybe you look more at a school that's comparable but has a lower profile. Maybe you need to stretch yourself a bit more and look at a school with a little bit higher profile. So this allows you to just continue rolling through and exploring those colleges. And then if it's a school that you decide that you're interested in, you would click this little heart, which adds the school into the section called Colleges That I'm Thinking About. And that's where we want your list to grow during junior year. So I'm going to go directly now into colleges that I'm thinking about. So again, this is a pretend student account, and just several schools have been listed. And if you've watched the other presentations, the application presentation gave the suggestion to create a Google Sheet and get yourself organized once you have your list of schools, and using this Colleges That I'm Thinking About tab to gather some quick information. So if this is my list of schools, the delivery type column is going to tell you whether you are applying directly on the school's website. So that's the computer icon that's blank, or the stamp. That means I'm going to go to that school's website and apply directly there. The icon with the CA means that the school uses the common application, which is an application, that is accepted at over 900 colleges. So the likelihood of seeing that CA in your list is pretty high. Another thing that you can gather from this list is the deadlines. When will this application be due? So within that presentation, I talked about many different deadlines. So Colorado Boulder would be an early action deadline of November 15th or a regular decision of January 15th. Both of them are non-binding. However, I know that I'm going to have priority consideration for scholarships and competitive degree programs if I hit that early action. So my goal would be to apply by November 15th. And I can use this information to start building that spreadsheet and organizing myself. Okay, just like always, you can click on the individual school within this list, see the profile, see the notes, the college overlaps, and gain as much information from the counselor notes as well. So from the colleges section, there's also enrichment programs. So if you're looking for summer opportunities, that's a place where Naviance even posts additional things, and I do as well. And I think the college maps are pretty fun. So you can look at different schools on a map geographically based on these individual features. So one I think is fun is the top 20 most popular colleges. So from Parkway Central, and then maybe you get an idea again of some other schools. So if you suddenly see that lots of students from Central are applying to the University of Minnesota. Maybe you should look at it. Again, the Learn More then takes you to the landing page of that school where you can get a snapshot of information about that particular school. This is the colleges tab. Again, I'm going to pop quickly back to the home screen and just show you a little bit more. Links that we think are important are going to be at the very bottom of the home page. So you can view all the links from the school. And this is how you can quickly access some things. Links to register for testing, ACT, SAT, free test prep through a site called Testive that Parkway partners with. Other scholarship databases, and filtering requirements or filtering websites for looking at colleges through a very specific lens. And if you are still looking at career research, I love the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and there's a link to that in here as well. So those links are all at the bottom of the home screen. And notes from me are always going to be listed on that welcome screen as well in that message. And the message right now is really, this is your year of research. This is your year of testing. So signing up for those rep visits, registering for tests, and doing test prep, all those key points that I mentioned previously in other presentations, those will be in my notes. So I hope that you can see the value of this resource and take some time over the next few months to really start learning and exploring more. I look forward to continuing to work with you. If you have any questions about Naviance or accessing the website or questions as you're exploring, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.